Hi friends, welcome back. Today is February 26th and I'm going to be starting a tomato, but a very special tomato. These tomatoes right here are called Glacier tomatoes, and guess what? They are a little bit frost tolerant. So that means that if they are mature enough, they can handle a little bit of frost. Isn't that crazy for a tomato? I live in Zone 7A and my last frost is supposed to be April 15th. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have a frost after April 15th. I have seen frost after April 15th. But if I plant this tomato in a 5-gallon container and I have it near my garage, and if we're getting pretty close to having a frost, then I can bring my 5-gallon bucket with my tomato inside my greenhouse or inside my garage and hopefully get tomatoes by May. So this year I want to get the earliest tomato I have ever gotten, and I want to do it by May 1st. It might be a little too close, but I'm hoping that I have enough time. So this tomato right here, Glacier, says that it's 58 days from transplanting to get a fruit. And now it's February 26th. So if we go 60 days from now, it should be April 26th when I am getting my first tomato. How cool would that be? So if you want to get some of the seeds, you can go to, I bought these from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, and I actually found this at the local nursery that is called Merrifield Garden Center. So you can go there and maybe take some of these packets. It has 60 seeds in here. I am only going to start 6 of them today because that's going to be a lot of work to be watching after these buckets, bringing them in and out if there is a chance of frost. So 6 should do the trick. To prepare for this, I've already prepared some soil right here. And this is some general potting soil. And these pots right here are not super big. They're maybe 2 inches by 2 inches wide and about 4 inches tall, or maybe 3 inches tall. They're not super big, but I'm hoping that I'm just going to grow them out in here. And once they get big enough, I'm going to bring them outdoors and put them in 5-gallon buckets. So I don't need a huge container to start my tomatoes. So here are the baby seeds. I'm going to be putting 2 per hole, and I'm going to count them out before I do that because I hate wasting seeds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more seed. So now we're going to put 2 seeds per hole. And now we're going to cover them. And this water is already moist, so I'm not going to water them. One important step to do here is to label your tomato plants. Make sure that you label them because otherwise you forget the variety of tomato. And since I start a ton of tomatoes every year, I need to know exactly which type it is. Because otherwise you don't get to find out what they are until they start fruiting, and then you can tell like the shape of the fruit or the color of the fruit. Glacier tomatoes. This is a little early. I told you guys that I wasn't going to start my tomatoes before March 1st, but these are tomatoes that are special, so we're making an exception here. I'm actually trying to hold myself from starting the peppers because I said in the previous video that I wasn't going to start them until March 1st, so I have about 4 more days to go here. So here we have it, 6 cells of tomatoes, 2 per hole, and we'll wait for them to grow out. And once they grow out, we'll pick the strongest and clip off the one that is not so strong. And we're going to grow 1 per container. One thing that I forgot to mention is that these tomatoes are determinate tomatoes. So that means that they're going to grow to a certain size and they're not going to get much bigger than that. Typically, I like to grow indeterminate tomatoes because they grow so fast and they grow all over the place and they produce a lot more. But if you want to grow a tomato in a container, then you might want to choose a variety that is a determinate tomato so that it doesn't get unruly on you. So if I am lucky, I'm going to have some tomatoes in early May, which would be the earliest I've ever had a tomato here in Northern Virginia. I know some of you guys out in Florida and Texas are lucky and you can get your tomatoes way before us, but here is pushing the boundaries of our zone. And you already know I'm going to be putting these tomatoes on my heat mat and underneath my grow lights so that they can get a jump start. The heat mat just really helps sprout the seeds a little bit faster, and once they sprout immediately, I have the lights ready to go so they don't get too leggy and stringy on me. And that is all I have for you today. Hopefully you can come back here in a few days and see the progress of the tomatoes. And if this turns out to be successful, you can learn from my experience and start your tomatoes way earlier than anyone else around you. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed so you can come back and watch the progress. See you on the next one.